guys, it's P again here with Red Star Science. Our topic for today is going to be something that I call a gravity well engine. Now, I did my undergrad studies in mathematics, and my grad studies was in the field of vibronics. My thesis was in gravity well systems, and one of the things I've always worked on in my early career was a gravity well engine system that would actually be able to fold space. Now, I know a lot of you might have heard about this, science fiction and whatnot, but I've been working on it for a long time, and even though I can't get it functional, again, the data and the stats, the science, is all solid, all of it. And basically, in simple terms, what happens is you take 2 points in space and just say relatively that the universe is a bubble. You take 2 points in space, you create a singularity into 1 point. That point will drop space, for lack of better terms, because of the high gravitational well that's going to be created. Once that point drops space to touch another point in time-space, because that gravity well is so large, you connect 2 points in space-time at the exact same time. And basically, you're transferring from one point to another when that well reaches absolute. And then you anti-collapse free time-space, and that goes back to where it was, and there you are. You are on that second point where those 2 points met in the first place. Now, it seems simple, but in scientific terms, no, it is not. Okay, I'm not trying to fool you. It just seems simple when you say it. Doing it in real life is a nightmare. Now, we have the science to do it, don't get me wrong, and we have the monetary availability to make something like this happen. Now, myself, I haven't got the science down pat to make it happen as one person. You need a whole team for this. It's probably been done already. I can't lie to you, it probably has, but nobody's going to come forward. The biggest thing that I've found will be the problem with this is navigation. Now, it's one thing collapsing space and showing up to another point in space and all this, and you get to go anywhere in the universe, any time in the universe. But therein lies the problem. Where and when? Because when you collapse time-space, it's not just going from here to there. You can show up anywhere in the universe at any time. Any time. I mean, past, future, any time. Any dimension. That's the deal. We don't know what's going to happen. As a vehicle, it is the most convenient. It is the most optimal means of travel in our known universe for our species. Because, like I said, we don't have a long lifespan. So, to get from one side of the universe to another, this is going to be the most optimal design of travel for us. The problem is, again, the navigation. The ability to navigate something like this is a nightmare. So, not only do you have to account for, again, distance, but you have to account for dimension and time. So, my primary thesis in graduate school was a little something that I call breadcrumb theory. And basically with breadcrumb theory, I try to keep it really, really simple, because simple science always works the best. I try to keep it simple, and what I proposed was to come up with something like, I'm not going to say a Van Neumann probe, but if any of you heard about that, then you know where I'm coming from with it. Van Neumann probes are probes that they would send out into deep space that could replicate themselves to explore space more, let's say, more economically. You know what I'm saying? It saves time. It saves the ability to have to go after, to go after man hours to do this, because they're going to replicate and go spread out in space and whatnot. My deal was a little bit different. Instead of Van Neumann probes, because they would take so long to reach and spread throughout the universe, it could take tens of millions of years for it to just send them out and hope they're going to be in the same spot that we might be able to open up a gravity well a gravity well engine portal at. So my deal was to do this. Take billions and billions and billions of probes nanoprobes and just eject them randomly through full space portals. And just do this randomly over and over and over and over again. Just keep on doing it, because odds are the more you do it, the more they can build a reference frame in deep space and other sides of the universe, different galaxies and whatnot. I'm not saying that's 100%, but I'm saying it's a very, very effective, because what can happen is sooner or later they're going to be able to communicate with each other, and that's kind of the what I'm planning on that. For these nanoprobes to be able to communicate with each other, to build a web system, to build a net, kind of like a galactic net, through different points of space-time, through different times in space-time. Dimension-wise, I don't know how that might work out, but it's a start. Now, this being said, when we open up a gravity well portal with our engine, the odds are sooner or later we're going to run into a web of these probes to be able to give us a reference point. Once we start coming through and being able to build reference points, then we can actually go through and set up reference point physically ourselves. We just need to be able to start. And again, the navigation system to this thing, that's the key. That's the key. Collapsing space-time, that's not the problem. Being able to use it as a vehicle, that's where we're stuck at. So, just a little insight on some of my work, and I'm gonna add some more to this a little bit later. This is just a small sample video on some of my private work. So if anybody has any questions, anything like to add, whatnot, email me, get back to me. We'll talk about it. Any more subjects you guys like to talk about, just let me know. All right. And as always, take care of each other. Be safe, guys.